You can choose your own adventure, especially whenever it comes to your health. But if you choose not to do any changes and you choose to just rip the script of a prescription and keep using that as a permission slip to keep living that same toxic lifestyle, it's going to bite you in the ass. All right, everybody, welcome again to another episode of the Jacque Show. So I've been getting a lot of feedback. I've been getting a lot of messages on Instagram in my DMs. There's different topics that people want me to go through, but be sure, if you're not following me on social media, be sure to jump on there, find me at doc_Jacque, and go ahead and hit my DMs and let me know if there's something that I can talk about to better serve you and better serve my community. The other thing that we're getting a lot of information and a lot of inquiries on is from doctors. So they're finding out that, that this type of treatment, this type of protocol, this type of mentality is out there. And so if you're a doctor, if you're a chiropractor, health coach, naturopath, you name it, and you're interested in learning these protocols, these techniques, how to read these diagnostic tests, we will be, and you can look out for it, but we will be releasing a coaching program this year with modules on how to read the test, what tests we use, what supplements, what recommendations, everything will be covered for you. So I just wanted to start with that today to answer some of those questions that have been just pounding my DMs, and I'm cool with that. So, so let's dive in today. So today's going to be a very, it may be a polarizing episode for us, and I want to do this in a way that is enough to make you uncomfortable to shift into a different paradigm. Whenever it comes to health, we have three different types of ways that we can look at our health. We have the victim mentality. We've got what I call the American mentality, or the reactive. And then we have the last one, which is like the proactive, which is the will never settle for anything less, always wants to be the healthiest possible. Each of these categories, one of us is going to fit into. And so I'm going to talk about, the victim and the American and the exceptional type person. And I just want to do this to really draw light and attention into who you might be. And the cool thing about this is no matter where you are in your health journey, you can always switch. You can always pivot. And so I go back to my story, and when I was coming up in this and I lost my health, multiple times, from my near-death experience in 2009, when I got jumped and I had a subdural hematoma, to mold toxicity, to low testosterone, even while competing at the highest ranks in NPC bodybuilding and men's physique, and even with our own infertility journey and our miscarriage that Megan and I had. So like I've been there, and each time you get a diagnosis or each time you lose health is an opportunity for you to take inventory of your life. And the way I say to take inventory on it is that if our lives created that disease process, we need to go back and assess what portion of our life did that. Is it that we're underactive? Is it that we're overactive? We don't stop? Is it that we take on too much responsibility? Do we disperse our energy to people who don't deserve it? Do we feel obligated to do certain things, talk to certain people? Do we feel obligated to stay, I don't even know if I said it, to stay up late at night? What is it? Do we feel obligated to eat horrible food? Do we just choose to eat horrible food? Is it a diet thing? Is it eating too much? Is it eating too little? When we lose our health, diet and lifestyle takes about 95% of the cost, even when it talks about cancer. 95% of cancer is due to diet and lifestyle. The other 5% is genetics. And your diet and lifestyle can influence your genetics. So it's really all diet and lifestyle. All of this stuff is. Whether you're dealing with cancer and autoimmune disease, or maybe just wake up feeling tired in the morning. And at some point, we have to realize that there's more for us out there. More potential for us. There's more growth for us. There's more success for us. There's being better spouses, being better parents, better grandparents, better kids. And it's up to us to see if we want to choose that lifestyle. You know, I remember when I was a kid, I used to read those Choose Your Own Adventure books. I thought they were awesome. And I always had like the fear of missing out. I'd always go back and do the other adventure too, just to see, just to see which one panned out the best. But you can do that in your life. You can choose your own adventure, especially whenever it comes to your health. But if you choose not to do any changes and you choose to just rip the script of a prescription and keep using that as a permission slip to keep living that same toxic lifestyle, it's going to bite you in the ass. And I think that's what happened. I know that's what happened. When 2019 hit, the end of 2019, 2020, COVID hit, and everyone was told to be scared of this virus, even though we're surrounded by viruses all day, every day. The mass hysteria hit us because, again, I keep quoting him. Dr. Zane was saying this, but like we got caught with our pants down. People, not myself, people got caught with their pants down. They were caught either in the victim mentality or the American mentality, which is the reactive. We don't do anything about our health until we lose it. And when we know health is 100% function, mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, and not merely the absence of sickness or disease, but we still choose to live that toxic lifestyle, we still choose to ignore those facets that make us healthy, then we can't expect ourselves to be healthy. We're just rolling a dice. Every morning we wake up, I wake up with confidence, knowing that whatever the hell comes out there, whatever the news is telling people, or Instagram or Twitter or whatever is telling people to fear, I don't care. It's an opportunity for my immune system to overcome something else. God gave us this immune system. Let's use it. Let's not fear it. Let's understand it. So no matter where you are in life, you have the chance to give up, just get by, or be exceptional. It's up to you. So let's talk about the victim. So we're going to talk about different verbiage. We're going to talk about different things that these particular people say and do whenever it comes to their lives. And a lot of victims don't want to admit that they're victims, but they're quite honestly some of the hardest for me personally to work with. Victims are people, and I'm saying this in a harsh way where I'm saying victim, because I want people to get the hell out of this. It's not a healthy place to be. And these are the ones who have supposedly been everywhere, seen all these doctors. And these doctors say, hey, there's nothing we can do for you. All you need is this medication. All you need is this one. And then a year later, it's not working. You need this one. Then that one. And then this one. And then 10 to 16 medications later, you're on drugs.com. You're looking at the drug interaction check and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have been prescribed any of these. None of my underlying causes have been addressed. Right? And that's if a victim tries to move out of it. But usually they just get stuck there. They claim the diagnosis. I am a diabetic. I have heart disease. Everyone in my family has had fill in the blanks. Every time someone in my family turns said age, they get this disease. I need to check my colon because colon cancer runs in my family. You know, they're just destined for death. And that's how they live their life every single day. They're waiting for their next setback. They're waiting for their next medication, and it becomes their identity. It is who they are. And if you don't know who a victim is, you know almost every single one of their diagnoses, what they've been through. They love that misery loves company. They love to bring anybody down with them. And if you're having a good day, the victim's going to swoop in like an energy vampire and just suck all that energy away from you. Because they don't want you to feel good. They want all the attention to be on them in a negative light. They want people to feel bad for them. And it makes it really difficult for me to work with them because we kill that identity. We expose the truth. And if you're a victim, it can be pretty hard. Be a tough pill to swallow. But victims, you've tried everything. You've been everywhere. Got a plethora of that. You have stuff that these doctors never even had to diagnose before. I mean, you're talking about the DSM code book, and you're like, we researched, we had one case of this when we did clinical rounds in school, and you've got that. I don't know. Or it's idiopathic, which means doctors have no freaking clue where it came from. Idiopathic is such a the term makes me laugh. Makes me think of them as an idiot. Idiopathic, they have no idea where the onset of whatever said disease came from. Idiopathic migraines. Idiopathic gut dysbiosis, IBD. I don't know. Something happened. Let's just freaking medicate and see if it works. Right? Victims. If you fit into this category, if you're listening to this and you fit into that category, remember, I'm saying this in a way to bring a little bit of pain. I want you to take this personal so that it moves you. Tony Robbins talks about the pain-pleasure principle. We stay in a certain, comfort zone for a while until it becomes too uncomfortable for us. If it never becomes uncomfortable for us, then we will always stay in that realm. We'll always stay there. And so we want to bring some pain there. I want to kind of be a little bit of a jerk because I'm sure you've had family and you've had friends that have tried to reach out and say, hey, you should get a second opinion. You should check out this doctor, whether it's myself or you should just go to a different doctor. There's some crazy kook doing this down the street. You should try that. And you're like, no, doctor said there's nothing they can do. There's no cure. It's incurable. I don't know. I just have to take this medication and get my blood work done and see if it's damaging my liver and everything else in my body. And oh, awesome, another medication. Now I have to make sure I have 3 meals in a day because I have to take my medications 3 times a day, and I can't miss a meal because I have to take my medication. I'm going to take my medication with a pound of ice cream. Would that be good with you? All right, these are the victims. Victims, there is so much more hope for you out there than this. Victims are the people who probably bought stock in hand sanitizer for COVID. Okay? These are germaphobes. These are people that they feel if they go outside, they're going to get hit with COVID, COVID-19, COVID-20, COVID-21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I don't know. We're going to get hit with all of the vids. We're going to get them all. So I'm just going to stay inside because I'm just waiting for the next thing to happen. I'm just waiting to die. I'm just waiting for cancer. I'm just waiting for heart disease, my next heart attack. That's just me. I'm just waiting. Switch away from that. Victims, a small upgrade from being a victim. And sometimes victims will teeter in the victim mode and the standard American. Standard American is, I'm too good to be great. Those are the people that, they'll be like, listen, I'm good. I know I should probably stop drinking. I know I should probably stop eating gluten and all this dairy, but it doesn't affect me that much right now. I can still do work. I can still be good, right? Too good to be great. They're reactive. They don't do anything for their health until their health fails them. And then they go to their doctors, they get their script, they take it just so they can get back to that same lifestyle again. They don't want to change that lifestyle because it takes too much time, energy, and effort for them to change it. Victims can sometimes straddle that where they're on their medications for a while and they start feeling better, right? Because medications, they force your body to do something against your body's will. If you're taking antidepressants are a bad example because they hardly ever work. But if you're taking Adderall, which is like cocaine in a pill form for kids, if you're taking that, it gives you a bunch of energy. Well, it forced your body to do that. Forced you also to lose some weight too. Medications are going to work. They're going to do that. So if you're in a state where you're like, you know what, too good to be great. I'm on 3 medications right now. My doctor's good. I hear this all the time. He's a great Christian man. He's a great guy. If he's not coaching you on your diet and lifestyle and warning you about the future, I don't care if he's a Christian. I don't care if he's atheist. I don't care what his religion is. He's not doing you a favor. He's not being your health coach. He's not being your doctor. He's being your drug dealer. Come to me when you have a problem. You need some more energy? I'll give you a bump. Can't sleep at night? I'll put you down. Right? I mean, it's sad but true. So these typical American mindsets, and I'm not saying this to be anti-American, etc. It's just what we've always been raised to do. We go to the doctor for a well visit. Well visit is get your shots, check the ears. You have ear infections, let's give you antibiotics. I've got a cough, take this prescription, take that, take this, take that. They try not to rock the boat. They just want to kind of keep things the same, as similar as can be. They're good. They don't want to rock anything. That's what I have health insurance for. If I get diabetes, I'll take that medication. It'll preserve me and I'll be okay. I'll be good. I don't want to do anything too crazy or too hippy dippy. I just want to get by. I just want to get by. They're also the people who justify like, hey, everything in moderation, right? I can get away with just a little bit. Just a little bit here and a little bit there. Like, it's not that. Just a little bit of medication, just a little bit of alcohol, and then just a little bit of sugar. And then it turns into this full-blown habit, and then boom, you put on a medication. Because what happened is your diet and lifestyle built a disease. You waited. You were reactive. You had a symptom, went to your drug dealer. Your drug dealer gave you drugs, right? When these types of people lose their health, okay, they can downgrade their status. They can become the victim. Or they can become the never enough or the exceptional people. When a American mindset type person, a reactive person, downgrades to the victim, it's where their disease has inconvenienced them enough that nothing is the same. Now I have to change my diet. Now I have to change my lifestyle. Now I have to do this. I don't have time to do this stuff. I just want to go work. These are your 9-to-5ers. These are your Pittsburgh people. I love my Pittsburghers. Trust me, born and raised. But all people do, they work their 9-to-5s, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 now because COVID's got you work from home. 9-to-5 or 9-to-9s, and then you hit retirement age, right? And you're stockpiling all this money aside just so you can get to retirement. And as soon as you hit retirement, boom, your health is gone. All that money that you saved while you were working now has to get put back into your health to try to buy your health back, which is like impossible to do, depending on how much neglect you've put in. Okay? So 9-to-5ers, working till retirement, working on the 9-to-5. I think that's a song. Yeah, that I just made one. It wasn't very good. So 9-to-5ers, they work to retirement there. They pay for their health or try to pay to get their health back. Usually, again, they don't want to do too much. They just want to take that next medication so they can just get by. They just want to be alive, just want to wake up in the morning. They don't want to wake up 15 times at night, so they're going to take a prostate medication. You know, that's just what they do. And then you have the never enough, or we'll just say that the exceptional people. These are the people who put in the work. These are the people who I know that you know. These are the people that annoy the shit out of you because they're always on the frontline wave of whatever the new health trend is. Whether it's avoid gluten, avoid dairy, avoid soy, the bulletproof diet, bulletproof coffee, a primal diet, or a ketotarian diet, or an organ meat diet, or carnivore diet. They at least know about it. Why? Because they're trying to biohack their bodies by themselves because they know that if they go to their medical doctors, they're just going to get handed drugs. All right, medical doctors, they only have 2 tools, drugs or surgery. So if you're going there and you expect something else, you're not going to get it. You're not going to. And if you do, a lot of the times it's malpractice because they're stepping outside of their scope of practice. So exceptional people, they're always on the front line. They're always out there. They're reading. They're researching. They knew the stats and the realistic whatever's about COVID before the CDC even. They were the conspiracy theorists of COVID. These are your exceptional people. These are your tin hat people. I'm just kidding. But realistically, they knew about this stuff. They were like, hey, I'm already slamming multivitamins. I already know I got to supplement in my vitamin D. I already know that flu season is actually just lack of vitamin D and high sugar consumption season. And I know that if I come across something, I'm going to get it. I just need to support my body the best I can to be able to overcome and build my own antibodies to it versus take a vaccine because I don't believe that my body can actually do what it was designed to do. These people always want to be healthy. These people they are the people that are like, they're pumped. They come into the office, virtually, we do calls. They come and they're like, hey, I know something's off. A month was enough. I have no idea what the hell is going on, but I need some more tests. I need to figure out what this is because this isn't cutting it for me. I was functioning 100%. I dropped down to 95. Not cool. 90%. Not cool. We got to figure this out. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, invest whatever price to receive my highest life, my highest sense of divinity or my highest sense of health. They know it. They're willing to invest into it. And this type of lifestyle, it's addictive in a good way, in a rewarding way, because you're always trying to fine tune. You're always trying to hack. And just when you think everything's perfect, you're like, what if I try this? And then your body, it comes into its own, right? Remember, in order for you to have a symptom, your body has to go from 100% function down to 60% function. So for a symptom to be present, your body has to already have 40% disease damage and cell death of that area before your body even tests positive, if you will. Okay? For a marker to show up, for your basic CBC and CMP to be off. Still, those tests, they have their place, but they're not the be-all, end-all, guys. When you're going in for your yearly physicals and they do those, you're going to have so many things floating underneath the radar. It's just embarrassing at this point. Okay? These are the people who are excited to get a cancer diagnosis. They're like, yes, I knew something was off. All I wanted to know was what it was. What do we do? And they're the ones that will come to me and be like, hey, I heard about blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that? And we'll have great dialogue back and forth. Like, hey, either I don't know about that yet. It must be something new. Let me dive into it. Let me research that. I'll get back to you. And we're like, yeah, I've heard about that. I wasn't sure if you were ready for that, if that was something that interested you. Let's throw that into the mix. These are people that I'll throw in my liver and gallbladder flush. We'll talk about coffee enemas. We'll be like, coffee enemas, that's weird. But if it's going to make me healthier, let's do it. If this is going to do it, let's do it. If I have to sleep sooner, let's do it. If I have to get these toxic people out of my life, let's do it. These people, they're a very select niche. But the exceptional people, okay, we have our weaknesses too. Exceptional people, they annoy the shit out of our families a lot of times. All right, my patients will drive their family nuts because their family's back in the old American mindset or victim mindset. I don't know why you're doing this. You're just going to have a heart attack like your great-grandfather did or your dad did. I don't know why you're doing that. That's not going to work for you to lose weight. Just eat all of his dairy. Dairy's good for you. Yeah, cow's milk, it's good. We're dairy farmers. We've been raised on this. Let's just be good. But yet everybody in the family's had cancer and heart disease. I'm like, what? What do you expect? So when we have the exceptional people, when we have these inner battles, it's not always easy to stay in that exceptional mindset because people try to throw stones. People try to tempt. Sometimes we want to sacrifice our health for other people's convenience. We go for the holidays. And we're like, I'm afraid to tell everyone I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, blah, blah, blah. What do I do? Like, just do that. What if you had an anaphylactic peanut allergy? Would your family care? Yeah, why? Because it decreases your health, it can kill you? Well, these types of things can decrease your health and it can kill you as well. Might not be as quick as eating a peanut if you have an anaphylactic allergy, but at the same time, are your family members going to pay you for your medical bills? Are they going to do that because they forced you to do that? They forced you against your will? You still chose to eat it? And then you end up with irritable bowel, colon cancer? I mean, we have such a unique ability as human beings, as individuals, to change our mindset. And I know a lot of people out there are like, listen, I've tried to change my mindset. I've tried breath work. I've tried meditation. I've tried, you name it. I've tried it all. I can't register what's going on here. But if you haven't done the proper testing with that, I'm a huge, all right, I'll dive in this. I don't want to say this in like I'm anti-brain, but like I understand the function of the brain. I had brain damage. I had a subdural hematoma. I get it. Nothing was harder in my life than when I was toxic and I had a toxic gut. When that happened, my adrenals crashed, my brain crashed, worse than coming out of the hospital, coming out of intensive care unit, living 3 days off a morphine drip. Mold toxicity destroyed my inner control, destroyed it. So if you're out there, you're like, I'm trying so hard, but I can't figure it out. I want to be that exceptional person. I was the standard American. I was being proactive, and then this happened, and now I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be proactive. I don't want to be reactive anymore. I just want to be proactive. I just want to figure out what the hell this is and how I can make sure that this doesn't happen again, so that each day I can wake up with confidence, knowing that I'm going to wake up every day with more and more and more health, being able to accomplish even more, being able to do even more, intensify my relationships, pour into my community, give back, whatever it is. When you're straddling the fence here and you're like, I just don't know what to do. I can't control it. I can't control it up there. Then there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. There has to be a cause. Okay? And it's not genetics. It's not, well, now I have autoimmune disease. I was born with an autoimmune disease. And my question back to you, I always sass people with this. You have an autoimmune disease, you're 35 years old. When you came fresh out of the womb, did you have that autoimmune disease? You've got Hashimoto's now. Did you have Hashimoto's when you were a baby? I'll wait. There's always a cause. What is it? So when you do work with a doctor like myself, you do these functional tests. You do the stool analysis. You do some mycotoxins. You do lifestyle analysis, diet analysis. You do these things. You will find that root cause. And that's when you're going to have to make that decision. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with the information I gave you? Because the information I gave you will not set you free. The information that I give you and the protocols that we give and we implement, they work. They always work. But if you don't make them work, if you don't do it, and you're like, it's too much work, it's too difficult, it's too many supplements, I don't want to change my diet, I don't want to avoid gluten, I don't want to avoid dairy. Well, you're choosing to not be the exceptional person. You're choosing to basically straddle that border between the victim and the proactive. You want to find that mentally, you want to find that happy medium, you could just get by without your symptoms really rocking the boat again. That's not the type of doctor that I am. That's not the type of patients that I want. I work with them, and trust me, I'll work with you. But if I'm banging my head against this microphone, or I'm banging my head against this desk, I'm like, yo, like we got to wake up. You have a choice. You've been living this sick. You've been held hostage by your body, by your stress, by your infections, by your toxicity for how many years? Now we found out. We found why. I opened the box. There it is. Are you ready for the information? What are you going to do with the information? Are you going to say, well, you know what? I'm going to take this back to my medical doctor real quick that's been just barely getting me by. I'm going to run it by him or her. I'm going to see what they say. Bad choice. They won't know what the hell to do. How are they going to give a medication for something they can't even read off a stool test? Right? Or we do a full hormone workup analysis and The doctor looks at a Dutch complete or Dutch plus, and we're looking at adrenals, we're looking at hormones, we're looking at liver function, organic acids tests, and these doctors are like, I don't know. Insurance, if insurance doesn't pay for a test, buy it. If insurance doesn't pay for it, buy it. Why? Because if insurance pays for a test, that means insurance is going to cover the medication that you're going to be put on from the test. You know, you can see the future. You can prophesize the future. If anything is off on that test, you're leaving with a consolation prize of a medication. And that medication, a lot of times, will push us into that proactive, or I'm sorry, that reactive, that American mindset. Just another medication. I'm good now. Symptoms are gone. I'm good. I've got acid reflux. I'm going to take Pepto-Bismol, or what the heck is the stuff that Larry the Cable Guy promoted? I even forget. I'm going to take one of those antacids, right? I'm going to take those. It gets rid of the symptoms. I can keep eating my jalapeno, habanero, ghost pepper, Carolina Reaper wings as long as I take that. And then research comes out and says, you better stop taking that. It's going to increase your risk of dementia, Alzheimer's, all the nice, fantastic brain function. Not to mention the impact it's going to have on your stomach. As proton pump inhibitors. I digress. I have no idea where I was going to go with that. I'm just getting all fired up. I got everything going here today. So hopefully you guys like this. Otherwise, you're going to stop listening, which is fine. So next time you go to take inventory, on your health, figure out where you are and figure out if you're mentally in a place that you're ready to make the move. You're ready to make the jump. Because if you just want another medication, you're never going to get it to that exceptional person. It's impossible. If you want to just be reactive to your health, same thing. You will never be an exceptional person unless you choose to be. Because at some point you have to draw that line in the sand and say enough is enough. Same thing I did when I was basically living on my parents' sofa with a soft brace around my neck from the fracture that I had at C7, lower neck vertebra, and I could barely move my damn neck. I was pissed because I was somebody. I was able to do whatever the hell I wanted. I was able to lift whatever I wanted. I could move my neck. Like the things that you don't even think that are that big of a deal, we take for granted every single day. All of that was ripped away from me. And I could have very easily, my parents are great. I could have very easily just stayed on the couch and drained their bank accounts, their vacation days, and just been a pathetic waste. I could have absolutely done that. Now, I'm sure my parents are very grateful that I chose the life that I did now. Now, they want me to visit a lot more because we're in Arizona, and I get that, and I want to, but under a different context, right? Because if I didn't continue on my path, think about this, right? Let's future pace this. Let's rewind it, and then we'll future pace. Hopefully y'all are still listening. So tune in, get those headphones in, crank this up. We're going to talk about some stories here, okay? Now, I know we just got past Christmas, right? So like the ghost of Christmas present, past, and future, right? You can see what the future would have looked like for me. Had I stayed on my parents' couch, not being able to move my neck, partially paralyzed because when they released me, I was able to start to move some of my arms, my legs, barely, but I could do it. Couldn't take a shower because it felt like knives were stabbing into my chest from a hypersensitivity reaction that was taking place due to the bruise in my spinal cord. Spitting giant wads of blood. Sorry, I told you to turn it up and I went gross with you, but I was getting rid of that. I was voiding that for about 4 months, 5 months after I got out of the hospital. I had to reset my nose. I had staples in the back of the head. I could have very easily been a worthless piece of shit. Hopefully you're not listening with kids, but a worthless person. Okay? I could have done that. Had I done that, all right, when I got jumped, I was about to go to chiropractic school, right? I had another chance. Life is funny. It gives you plenty of opportunities to give up. It's like the devil's tempting you all the time. I could have given up. When I started getting my footing, right? I started getting back on track. I went to chiropractic school. I'm like, yeah, did it. Then I go into student clinic. I'm like, shoot. This guy's telling me I got to drop out of chiropractic school because I can't tell the difference between a cold piece of metal and a chapstick container. Shoot, that's not good. What did I do? I use that as my underdog motivation. I'm like, listen, every time I see Dr. Duffy in the hallway, I'm going to give him a doing great. Looking forward to student clinic. Yep, cool. See ya. Doing awesome. I could have very easily been like, you know what? He's right. Let's just drop out. Why am I even doing this? Let's save the money. I mean, trust me, school loans are a pain in the butt. But I still chose to go through that. Now, had I not gone off to chiropractic school, had I not changed my mindset, had I not changed into and became obsessed with being an exceptional person, wouldn't have gone to chiropractic school. If I did not go to chiropractic school, I would not have gone to Atlanta and met some of my best friends. Some amazing people down there in Atlanta. Helped a guy recover from a herniated disc down in his low back. Did some upper cervical adjustments on him. Tom, if you're listening, you know he got to running again after working with me. Also worked with another guy in outpatient clinic. Okay, this guy was awesome. I adjusted him so well that his golf game improved, and he was crushing his buddies. And he would not tell his buddies to come and get adjusted because he wanted to have the unfair advantage. Right? Just 2 cases, but like 2 very memorable cases for me. Okay? Now, coming to Houston, where I work and saw over 3,000 patients a week, I met a lot of absolutely amazing people. Like, obviously, there's 3,000 people rolling through there. Had some amazing relationships with a lot of my patients. I got to meet their families. We would have dinner together every year. We'd do like an annual banquet with Dr. Zano. He would fund this annual banquet where all of the lifetime members would come and we'd all hang out. We'd converse and we'd talk about different stories, from helping patients be able to go to the bathroom again, from just some basic adjustments. Like I was the poop doc for a while where I would give like a special adjustments. No, it's not inappropriate. It's just a sacral adjustment, the bone at the base of the spine. I would adjust that and people would go and they'd be able to have a bowel movement. That's why they would come to me. Or I would make migraines go away with my adjustments, or, you name it, help people with cancer and overcome. They're like, I can't get my platelets up. My immune cells, my immune markers can't come back up. What do? I can't even talk. What do I do? We adjusted them and boom, everything went back to normal. Right? Or like, there's so many things, irritable bowel, digestive, heart palpitations, like just that. Had I not gone to chiropractic school, had I become a victim, had I just been, enslaved in that victim mentality or just given up, that stuff, those people's lives would never have been changed. Let's take it a step further. Where'd I meet my wife? Where'd I meet Megan? In Houston. Had I not gone to chiropractic school, I would have been on my parents' couch in Pittsburgh. I wouldn't have met my wife. We wouldn't have been married. And we would have never had our 2 kids. Had I not met Megan, where and how I did in the gym, we were both 2 people obsessed with, pushing physical performance. We learned a lot through competing, through our competitive mindset. I learned about this functional medicine stuff. I learned about what I'm doing today. Had I not learned back then how to change and how to improve my health and my life, now my niches, right? Came back to Pittsburgh, learned about everything in life happens for a reason. It happens for us, not to us, but went back to Pittsburgh, got mold toxicity, right? Do you know how many people I work with right now currently with mold toxicity? It's an overwhelming amount of people with mold toxicity, with symptoms that would go undiagnosed in the normal medical system. You know how I know that? Because it was. I'm not people's first choice when you find mold. You're like, oh, I'm going to call Doc Jacque. He's the mold guy. No, typically people are going to your PCPs with anxiety, depression, cancers, irritable bowel, gallstones, kidney stones, Alzheimer's, dementia, blood sugar dysregulation, just frantic depression, bipolar, you name it, skin rashes. You're going everywhere but to me, right? That's one of my niches, which means that would have been relationships ending, divorces occurring. Okay. And I'm being serious. This is real stuff. Rapid decline in health, people dying from their cancers, people just, again, being enslaved by the medical system, never having an ounce of faith or hope. I helped a kid with seizures. Like, that happened. And then the other leg, if you will, of what I do now is huge with infertility. Had I not gone to chiropractic school, worked in Houston, met Megan was supposed to be quote unquote infertile or have difficulties with getting pregnant, became obsessed with hormones, and we got her pregnant twice, obviously. And then now I'm helping people all across the country with fertility issues because medical is failing them. So had I not gone on this journey, all of those babies that were born, now I'm not just sitting here like, oh, only I can do this. But the likelihood would have gone down. If you just go to your normal, fertility specialist, et cetera, their success rates are freaking abysmal. They're horrible. So this is what I'm talking about, future. And I would have never met my kids. I never would have met Hoyt or Sage, which is horrible. Like even the thought of that. Now, there's times where I'm like, man, these kids are driving me nuts. But I'm always grateful. I'm always grateful for these guys. Guy and girl. Hoyt and Sage. So had I lived in the victim mentality and I stayed in the victim mentality, my life would have been radically different. And throughout this process, it's not all been sunshine and rainbows. It's not like one day you're like, I'm just going to be happy today and I'm just always going to be this way. Yeah, I'm always healthy and I never have anything. Guys, stuff happens. Whatever this flu illness thing is that just hit the end of 2021 into 22, I got it. It sucked for a couple of days. Like, whatever. But different things happen. I twist my ankle in chiropractic school. Like all of these things happen, right? But it's laughable to me because I'm like, well, it's not going to sidetrack me from my purpose. But if you choose to be the victim, you're going to be medicated. You're not going to live out your purpose. You're not going to live out your potential. You're not ever going to flourish into the person that you were created to be. And so my point is, I could have been the victim in 2009. I chose not to be. This is 2022. You have the opportunity, if you choose to put in the work, the time, and the effort to do it, you have the ability to still step into your potential. You still have the ability to rewrite the script that has already been written for you. You just need that mindset, you need that work ethic, and maybe you need a new support group. These are all things that we work with, again, on a daily basis. So whether you're victim, standard American, or exceptional American, so people don't think I'm anti-American, you can choose. If you're exceptional, you can just give up one day and be a victim too, if you want to. But it all starts here. It starts with the mindset, wanting to change, want things different, admitting that things aren't as good as they could be, and then figuring out why. You will never figure out why with a medical doctor. You will never figure out why with an oncologist, with an OB, with an endocrinologist, with a thyroidologist. I'm just going to make that up because they're some of the dumbest people that I've met. There might be some good ones out there, but I've never seen one that actually knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to the thyroid. But either way, if you're on this journey and every year you're losing health, think about that. Think about what's happening. Think about why. If you haven't been tested properly, you haven't analyzed properly, and nobody is telling you to change that diet and lifestyle, you need yourself a new doctor. And I'm going to end on that. Choose to be more. You have the potential inside you. If your body, if you cut your finger, in your mind, you know it's going to heal. Now, there are instances where you can be a hemophiliac or you can have diabetes and you just don't heal properly. But 99.9% of people out there, if you cut your finger, your toe, whatever, you know it's going to scab up, you know it's going to heal. You know it. Our kids know it. What's the difference between your finger healing and your gut healing? What's the difference between your finger healing and cancer healing? Tell me. I'll wait. There's no difference. Different location, maybe different particular type of cell. If we're talking about the dermis or epidermis, we don't need to split hairs here, but what is it that tells us in life or how we're brought that, your body can heal a cut, a flesh wound where your insides are outside, your body can heal that, but inside where it's a more controlled environment, your body can't do it. We're told that. We're told from a very young age that we are incapable of healing. We're incapable of the impossible. We have miracles happen all the time. All a miracle is something that a medical doctor can't wrap his damn head around. Miracles happen all the time, and they can be predictable as well. Think about that next time you have a health crisis. If your finger heals, what is it internally that you need to change to make sure that your insides will heal as well? Have the faith first that it can happen, and then figure out why. If you need help, if you need an appointment, consult, etc., always click down below in the show notes. Reach out to me on Instagram, doc_Jacque. If you don't know how to spell it, just light up your screen right now so you can see my name, Jacque. I know it's hard, okay? But click on that, message me. We'll get you scheduled. There's links, again, on the schedule notes, and there's links in my link tree on Instagram where you can book a one-on-one in depth, okay? And we can work on changing your life if you choose to go that route. So as usual, thank you all for tuning in today. Work with that mindset. Accept where you are. Don't deny it. Accept where you are now, but then think about where you want to go from here.